Yeah, I don't know if I feel horrible or not, but here we go. I hope this is catching. Um, these three problems. First problem is multiplying monomials. Um, just you start us off on a nice little warm up. Um, for these monomials, bad angle. This is saying 7 w z to the third times 2w to the fifth z to the fourth. What we'll do is just multiply it part by part. When I say part by part, I mean, hey, first thing we got are these numbers, so we might as well multiply those numbers. So this will be a 7 times 2 here. Also, we've got those W terms. So what I'm going to do is arrange them so that they're side by side. So that's a W times W to the fifth. And then we've got those Z terms, that Z to the third and that Z to the fourth. That needs to be multiplying one another as well. So Z to the third times Z to the fourth. And what will happen, well, 7 times 2, that's, business as usual. 7 times 2 is 14. This might be the new and interesting part, how to multiply might be. W by W to the fifth, well, that W has an exponent of 1. Whenever we're multiplying exponential terms having the same base, keep the base, so we're going to keep that W, and then we'll add the exponent. So here, this is 1, this is 5, 1 plus 5, this will be a W to the sixth. Make that look like a 6. And then, in case you didn't catch it, we're going to do those Z's. So we keep the Z, and we add the exponents on the Z's. So we're adding the 3 plus 4, that's 7. So that was multiplying exponential terms, multiplying monomials. Here we have a quotient, and also if you notice, for some of those exponents, we've got a negative exponent. And that's essentially what the thrust of this problem is that we want to rewrite this so that we only have positive exponents. So what will have happen is that, well, per the usual, we're going to be rewriting a lot of stuff. This 3 is okay. It doesn't have a negative exponent. And that x, we all know that that x has an exponent of 1, and 1 is positive. But that y to the negative third right there, notice it's in the numerator, and also it has a negative exponent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this so that it's going to be in the denominator. So what we'll have is this will be y to the, and then notice also what I wrote for the exponent. This is y to the, this is y to the positive 3, y to the third. I have no spatial orientation. What am I doing? There we go. That's y to the third. So notice here it was a numerator where it had a negative exponent, and where we wrote it was in the denominator where it now has a positive exponent. Now that z to the negative second over there, that also is causing us problem because it has a negative exponent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite it so that it has a positive exponent. So that was the big to-do right there. Now for the last one, what we're doing is, this is a little bit more complicated than the first problem, in that this is multiplying binomials. First problem is just monomials. This is binomials. So what I advocate for this is just a repeated application of distributive property. So what does that look like? On the very first, what we're going to have is all of this multiplying all of that, but we're going to do it part by part. So the first part of this is this 5s. So we'll have 5s that needs to multiply by 6s plus 5. That's first part of this first quantity. Now following that 5s is minus 3. So I have to subtract 3, and then I'm going to be multiplying all of that by 6s plus 5. So I broke it up a little bit, and that this first quantity, I broke it up. The first part is multiplying this entire second part, and then the second part is multiplying that entire part as well. And so this becomes a good old use the distributive property, combine like term type problem. So we'll have, I think backing out will do it. 5s times 6s is 30s squared. 5s times 5, that'll be a plus 25s. And then that minus 3 times 6s, that's a minus 18s. And then that negative 3 times 5 will be a minus 15. So that's what we have. No more parentheses. All we have are these 4 different terms floating around. We have to combine like terms. The only like terms we have are those s terms. So we combine those, and we're done. So that's 30s squared plus 25s minus 18s is a 7s, and then we'll subtract off 15. So that's that, and those are 3 selected problems from the polynomial chapter.